Again, here we are going to continue with lesson 11, form, meaning, and function. You will realize that these structures, were studied before. Just we want to revise them together. Here, as usual, we have, let us say the objectives or the goals of the lesson. We are going to practice using simple past with used to or would, doing, the sentences correctly, to complete the sentences using there is and there are. Use the singular and the plural nouns correctly. أيضا, just to revise you with the article the. So these are the objectives. Look here. You remember when we talk about used to? Used to is used for what? Past habits, where happening, but now they do not.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this in the book or
Yes, it is.
PowerPoint?
Yes, it is. It is in your book.
Okay.
But the let us say here, the show is not here. The PowerPoint is not in your. Here, just we have examples.
Oh, yes.
Look at the. Now, when do we use used to? We use used to for past states, habits, and situations that are no longer true. Look at the example. Morris, the inventor of the telegraph system, used to be a professor. He used to be, but now, no. At a New York University, he used to teach arts and design. People used to communicate by telegraph, used to dispatch telegraphs. Now, if you want to ask a question, we ask with did. Did you used to have? Look here, we use used to if you want to talk about, past states or habits. And the form will be used to plus infinitive in statements, affirmative sentences. We can use used to talk about past states that are not true anymore. Just talking about, what things were happening in the past, not now. Look at the example. We used to live in New York when I was a kid, but now we don't. We used to. Here we have what? Past state. If you want to make a negative sentence, we use what? Didn't used to. There didn't used to be a supermarket there. When did it open? Now, if you want to ask about, let us say past states or habits, we can ask with did you used to? Did you used to play tennis, for example? Did you used to have a garden? Did you used to talk with your friends? So this is about, used to. Okay. I used to. Now we can also use used to talk about past habits. In the previous, let us say slide, we talked about, past states, but here we talk about past habits. When we said past habits means repeated past actions. And, they do not happen anymore. I used to go swimming every Thursday when I was school. She used to smoke, but, now she gave up a few years ago. Okay. Used to in the affirmative form. 1 minute, please. In the affirmative form, we use what? Subject, used to, plus the verb in the base form. Infinitive means here the base form. Here we have examples. I used to work very hard. I used to watch Disney cartoon when I was a child, etc. Now, used to, in the negative form, we use the subject, didn't, plus used to, plus verb in the base form. Look, she didn't used to sleep early. Talking about something which was happening in the past. She didn't used to. They didn't use to play in the street. You realize here when we use didn't, we have to put the base form here. No D with, use here base form. Used to form with, questions, question form. We start with did, then the subject, then used to. Then, the base form. Did she used to wake up early? Yes, she did. No, she didn't. Did you used to play tennis? The same here. We have to remove the D and to write, the base form. Now here we have another word which is would. You have to know that they have the same meaning and they are used, in the same structure, used to and would. But you will discover that there is a difference between them. Used to and would. They are used in, sentences with past habits. We use used to for past states and habits and situations that are no longer true. They do not happen now. We can also use would in a place of used to for just, the past habits. But we cannot use would for past states. Then used to, used, we can use it for the past states, past habits, and past situations. But would just used with what? With past habits, not with past states. So would can only be used for actions. Look at the examples. Here just showing the differences between used to and would.
Teacher, can I go 3 minutes?
Yes. Okay, used to, would. Just we want to show the difference. Used to here is used with any kind of verbs, with actions, states, etc. Look at the example. I used to walk to school. We used to have a car. But would just use with past actions. Look here. Action verbs only can be used with action verbs only. Look at the example. I would walk. Instead of saying I used to walk, we can use would. I would walk to school. Here we have an action verb. But with the stative verb, we do not use would. We cannot say we would have a big car. We say what? We used to have a big car. This is the first difference. The second difference. What?
I have a question.
Yes.
When we say I would walk to school, this is in the past, right?
Yeah, both. It is a habit. It was a habit, but now it didn't happen. I used to walk to school, but now I do not walk to school. I go by taxi, for example. I go by bus. Here when we use used to, it means something happened in the past, but was happened a lot. Habitual actions in the past, past habit. It
Yes,
didn't happen now. I would walk to school. It means I used to, but now I do not walk to school. I go by bus. The same here. We used to have a big car, but now we don't. We, let us say, sold it. Used to is used with action verbs and the stative verbs, but action verbs would just use with action verbs. The second example, or the second difference, can be used in statements, negative questions. As we talked before, we can use used to in affirmative, negative, didn't, used to, did you used to. Look at the examples. But would, just in what? In affirmative form. Can be used in statements, just in statements, affirmative form. I would go to the same beach every summer. The third, difference here, used to is used for any extended actions or situations in the past. He used to live in Riyadh, but he moved to Al-Hasa. Here, would, used to describe actions or situations, repeated actions, again and again and again. Look here, when we was at university, we would sleep until noon. So these are the differences. Okay, now look at your books on page 16, please.
Can I solve?
Yes, Adnan, number one.
No. My grandparents often tell me that life before the internet was very different to how it is nowadays. When my grandfather was young, he used to have a computer, laptop, tablet. He didn't used to have a computer,
Good. In the
laptop, tablet,
past,
or even
yes,
cell phone.
he didn't used to have a computer, laptop, tablet. Good. Didn't used to have. Didn't used to have. We cannot use would, because would,
What doesn't take a state of verb? Like have.
doesn't take, didn't. Good. Who wants to continue? He told me.
Can I continue?
Dia. Yalla Dia. He told
He
me
told
that.
me he told me that in those days people used to
Used
would
to.
speak to people.
Both of them, are correct. Good. Used to speak or would speak, because here we have what? Talking about past habits.
Can I?
Who wants to continue? Let me choose Anwar. People.
Okay. To people on a phone that was fixed to the wall of house. Okay. People didn't used to
Good.
use their
People
phones.
didn't use to their phones to take digital images. Good. Images. Good.
Sir, excuse me for a minute. I have to go.
Take your risk. You can go. Who wants to? Ibrahim Mansour?
Yes.
Again.
Number 4.
Yes.
They used to take photos
Good.
with the
They
camera.
used to take, or we can use what? Would take. Both of them are correct. They used to take photos with a camera that needed, a special roll of film. They. Who wants to do it?
Can you do it?
Ali Sherman. Where are you, Ali?
Yes. They used to print the photos on special kind of paper and put them
Good.
in a photo album.
Yes, we can use both. Used to print or would print. Good, thank you. Moreover, number 6, who can continue? وين أحمد الحوراني?
Yes, mister.
Yes, continue.
Yes.
People.
Moreover, yes.
Moreover, yes,
Yes.
people.
Moreover, people
used to find
the information in books.
Good. Or we can use would find. Moreover, people used to find information in books, and they. Hamza Samir, where are you? And they what?
Teacher, I'm here.
Yes. Continue with number 7.
Yes. And they used to use actual paper maps to get to places. They
Good.
also read. They
Yes.
also would read.
Good. Used to read, or would read. Good. Thank you. Who can continue? When Ali Kedan? Are you here? Number 9. طيب عساف. إبراهيم عليمات. Are you here? حمزة البكار.
موجود.
Yes, read.
A newspaper which a paper boy used to deliver.
Or would deliver. Good.
Would deliver.
Good, thank you. So this is about, exercise A. Let's move together with the next structure. I think it is easy for you, and you studied it before on page 17. Here we have there is, there are. There is used for what? Singular. There is a phone message for you. The plural nouns, we use the what? There are lots of unanswered emails. There is and there are to say that something exists. Look here, look at the first rule. We use there is for singular. There are for plural. Here we have examples. There is one table in the classroom. There are 3 chairs in the classroom. There is a spider on the bed, and so on. Also, we can use there is with uncountable nouns. We also use there is with uncountable nouns. There is milk in the fridge. There is some sugar, etc. I think it is easy for you. You can go to your workbook on page 10 and do the exercise. We will not do it now. This is, you can take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Finish. This is in your workbook, ya shabab. You have to do it in your workbook. There is some letters in the coffee table. There is a magazine, etc.
Teacher,
Yes.
can I send you the worksheet on Saturday?
That's up to you. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Because I want time to print it.
Don't worry about that. And if you, yes, thank you very much. Now here we have another point which is talking about the plural forms with nouns, the irregular nouns. You know that most nouns, take S to form the plural, like, book, books, car, cars, etc. But if the noun ends with S, CH, SH, O, or X, we add ES. And if the noun ends with Y, preceded by, a consonant, we have to remove Y and add IES. If the noun, ends with F or FE, okay, we change, the noun into VES. And here we have what? Look, here, letters, car, cars, email, emails, and so on. Nouns end with SCH, SH, like, the second group here. Inbox, inboxes, business, businesses, watch, watches. Nouns end with Y, preceded by what? Consonant. Change Y into IES. Nouns end with F or FE, change into what? VES. Here. Here we have a note. If the Y preceded by a vowel, just we add S, like boy, boys, day, days, etc. Here we have irregular nouns. I think you know it. Man, men, women, women, etc. Foot, feet, mouse, mice. Okay. Also, this is, I think, the rules for plural nouns. Now, also, if you remember when we talk about in the first semester about the articles, here we have the article the. We use the definite article the before singular and the plural nouns when we know what or who we are referring to. When we specialized in the noun, the children at the local school. Here we talked about what? The children, not any children, just, you know, the children at the local school got some new computers, not other children. Use the definite article there for objects that are one of a kind. Here, if we have what things which are unique in the same, like, you know, the sun, the moon, the earth, the internet. So we use that, the Holy Quran, the Masmak, Fortness, etc. These are, you know, you can read them later. Here in your workbook on page 10,
Can I answer?
you can do it in your workbook. Just have a screenshot.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. You can, you know, have a screenshot. الآن we have a homework. Look at your homework in your page.